At one point in time, when we thought of Africa, we originally would envision starving children with flies on their face, thanks to images pushed by Hollywood and others. Enters Coming to America, a movie that changed the way we see black people on screen. It was a movie that paved the way for films like Black Panther, black kings and black queens covered in lion furs, gold, and robes, showcasing opulence, grandeur, and royalty. It was one of the first times that blacks were represented in such a light on a mainstream stage. The film will go on to inspire Halloween costumes because people enjoyed the wardrobe so much. Coming to America follows the story of an African prince who goes undercover and travels from the fictional country of Zamunda to Queens, New York in order to find his bride. When it was released in the summer of 1988, it had a positive impact on the way we see black people. An associate professor of theater at Dartmouth College told the Washington Post that the movie was a milestone in black film. You get this narrative of black people always being embattled and oppressed. Films like Black Panther and Coming to America changed this. I haven't encountered one black person on this planet who doesn't know at least one line from the movie. Meet Esmeralda Gordon, the designer of all the jewelry and the recognizable crowns from the original film. Gordon was contacted by Deborah Nadoolman, who was the costume designer for the film and the wife of director John Landis. Nadoolman took a close look at Gordon's jewelry and asked her to work on a new project she was going to be a part of.
Well, Deborah Nadoolman gave me, verbal parameters as to what she wanted. And after that, she just kind of let me do what I wanted. And it all worked out.
Gordon wasn't inspired by any country in Africa specifically.
I started out in what is called fine jewelry, which I don't view it as fine jewelry. It's just a different material. So I used really rare oxblood coral in the piece and also turquoise. And then in order to duplicate diamonds, I cut all the stones in-house and used a lot more facets so that it would really read like a diamond.
One of the most recognizable pieces from the Coming to America jewelry is Eddie Murphy's crown. Gordon says that the piece was made specifically for the movie. Gordon says she had to hand-make many pieces, but she did have help.
At the time that I made all the pieces, I had a factory in Thailand, and I had 60 bench workers. So we were able to do the thing in 45 days. But in today's day and age, you would not be able to do that. Even I couldn't do it.
Gordon had little interaction with the cast because she was on set working.
I didn't really have a lot of interaction with them. With James Earl Jones, I was really lucky. My son was with me, and really nice, and he put my son on his lap. So that was really thrilling for me. And my only interaction with Eddie Murphy is when I tried his crown on him, and the only thing he said to me was, "Don't mess up my hair."
When she got the job to design the jewelry, Gordon had no idea that the film would become a classic. She was just focused on doing good work and having fun making the jewelry.
And what's really funny is that I still didn't get it. Even more recently, I didn't get it. But my son, who is just a teeny bit older than you guys, he said, "Are you kidding? It's a really big deal." But it never registered to me. It was like, to me, it was, the film was really all about Eddie Murphy.
None of the actors took any of the jewelry home with them, but the jewelry did go on a 21-city promotional tour, which was an industry first.
That was at the same time. It's like when they take the film from city to city. Opening, they did it then because it was portable. And the studio thought that the collection was a big enough deal to do it. And it was an industry first.
Little did they know, however, that this would be the last time the public would see the jewelry, as Esmeralda would reveal where the jewelry is located today.
It's housed at Paramount Studios, and Paramount Studios wouldn't even let the sequel use it. Because they called me and they wanted me to reproduce the crown, but they wanted to have a price verse. And I really wasn't in their budget, so they opted, out of me reproducing it. And the reality is, I couldn't really reproduce it because so many of the pieces in the crown that they wanted to reproduce, it isn't really available. You can't get off split coral.
As far as Esmeralda, she compared her own jewelry shop to a salon that gives off a relaxing and intimate vibe. The shop is located in Sun Valley, Idaho, and it's called Studio of the Empress. The continent of Africa has always been subjected to negative stereotypes, which has included poverty and starving children. Those portrayals are absent in Coming to America, and it gave some people a new perspective on Africa. By showcasing jewelry and crowns, the film helped change the perception of blacks on screen.